Alright guys, here we are. I'm back. I'm going to be doing some really cool stuff here. We're just going to have some good old-fashioned Collecticon fun. You guys are welcome to join me for the journey. I'm going to be kind of bouncing back and forth of kind of painting this piece here and then kind of holding it up in the camera so you can see some of the details that I've done. I don't know how that's going to work on camera, but we're going to try it. We're going to have some fun. This is pretty much a laid-back session here. You guys get to join me. I said, you know what, I'm going to be doing this project kind of, this is the way I wind down throughout the work week. So I said, why not just do something fun, film it, and just let the guys come along like the old days and see what happens. So first things first, it's not going to be this long drawn-out thing, guys. This is basically me, the paintbrush, the piece, and you guys, and we'll chit-chat and all that. Well, real quick, I'm going to jump into this piece, man, and have some fun. I got some water here. You guys know the drill. We got water here to rinse out the brushes. We got our paints. We got our piece. Now let's just bring in some creativity. I've been knocked down for a little bit, guys. I've been kind of sick, real bad off sick. I kind of fell ill, and I didn't want to burden you guys with like, oh, I'm sick, and you know, this, that, and the other. I kind of told Dylan to keep it on the hush-hush. I'm fine, guys. You know, nothing too serious. It's something I was able to bounce back from. Just kind of a little worn down from, you know, moving and running a business, and just kind of burning the candle on both ends, so to speak, and fighting a war on two fronts. And your body will remind you, no matter how great a shape you think you're in, that you're still human, and that's what happened. So here we are, guys. I broke out this color. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. This is what I'm going to be using here. And I'm going to start kind of doing a light dry brushing on this guy here so you guys can see it, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, but like I said, guys, that was just a really interesting week and a half for me. So, you know, now I'm back, I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm just ready to have some fun, get back into the community, get some commissions finished up for you guys, and taking on a couple of new ones, and just having fun. So, I said, well, let's start the fun with a good old-fashioned custom piece here. So far what I'm doing, guys, I'm just kind of taking my brush, lightly dabbing off some paint there, and just kind of going over with kind of what I think a heavy dry brush here. This is not really a light dry brush, this is a very heavy one, but I want that undercoat of this particular color to be pretty heavy so that it pops out once we start the highlighting portion of this deal. And you guys can do the same with your pieces, and especially when you got a piece with a lot of heavy lines like this piece has here, and some, you know, it's got an abundance of raised areas here that are real nice for rubbing your brush across. I'm also using a wide bristle brush there just to save on time, but I'm making sure to get the entire piece. One of the things that a lot of people don't do with these things, I've seen them out there, is they don't do the underbellies. I actually do the underbelly, but I normally do the underbelly in a lighter color, because when you look at animals like crocodiles or snakes, you know, different reptilian creatures, normally the underbelly is a lighter color than whatever their top skin is. So, you know, normally on snakes it's kind of a beige, white, off-white color. Same thing with, you know, crocs and different lizards. So I'm going to do the same thing here for this particular piece, just to capture that feel, that reptilian feel. So I'm sure you guys aren't able to see this in detail, but like I said, I just wanted to kind of sit down and paint, have some fun, and talk shop with you guys, shoot the breeze a little bit, and then kind of show you the various stages I go through in doing something like this, if you care. And if not, you can click off the video. But I'm sure a lot of you guys will find this very useful as far as doing some of your own painting projects or whatever. So here we are. I'm just, like I said, going over with a heavy dry brush of that blue that I chose to use, making sure to get the entire figure. We don't want to necessarily, like I went a little bit into the underbelly, we don't necessarily want to get the underbelly, but we do want to get the insides of the legs. A lot of people neglect that. We want to make sure this thing has maximum coverage. The shoulder areas look real nice. Like I said, I don't spend a whole, I mean, I spend some time on these things, but I don't spend like some guys getting to, you know, 36 hours, you know, into the figure. And, you know, granted, if you're doing something, you know, like for a commission, like a, let me see, some of the stuff like JD Meg does, where, you know, the Iron Patriot, where there's some, you know, sculpting going into the piece and all that. But, I mean, just a basic dry brush for you guys that have been doing it for a while. You know, I don't see why you should take that much time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to take quite a bit of time though, guys, for doing the details. But as far as just the basic coat, you don't have to get too intricate with that. But like I said, heavy base coat there. I don't know how much you guys can see of this. Now, I pretty much got, let me see, the entire body there done. Make sure you guys are getting this. I pretty much got the entire body done there, so now I'm going to do the head, and after that I'm going to dry brush his underbelly, and we'll go back into something else. So like I said, let's finish up the legs and all that. Get his legs done. We may be able to do this, guys, in 2 videos. Not one, definitely, because we gotta allow for some drying and all that. But definitely 2 videos. So let's get his head going there. Now I'm not worried about whether or not I get it on his horns, because I can go over that. So like I said, this is just a real quick dry brushing. Just want to get all of that scaly texture coated in the basic overall color. Real quick. And then after that, we'll go back and we'll do all the detailing. Now for those of you guys out there who go, oh my goodness, that looks so easy. It is, for the most part, once you learn the techniques, but it can get very interesting once you go to start trying to capture those, you know, bumpy areas on his skin and get the texture of the horns, and then you start layering colors. And you guys that do this know what I mean. It can get pretty frustrating sometimes, because you'll hit it one way and you'll be like, oh, that didn't turn out the way I wanted it, and then you're back to doing it again, and like I said, it can get real tedious, but it's fun. It's painting, and everybody loves painting that does it. I haven't heard one guy that paints or customizes that doesn't enjoy this portion of the hobby. A little heavy there just to get those joints. On a piece like this, you won't get a whole lot of paint wear. I mean, you'll get some, but you won't get a whole lot. It's very bulky, fairly bulky piece. So, you should be fine when it comes to that. For the most part, like I said, I got this whole thing. I just need to do a couple more underbelly areas. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go a little heavier here. And I'll show you guys why later I did that. It's going to be for shadowing. The cool thing about it is I can take some of that excess paint and bring it up here to areas that I don't need it. Right there. So we're under here, and we're under There it is. I'm turning this thing every which way, guys. I'm sorry if you can't see it. I'm trying to make sure that I get all the different areas. But basically, there we go. We've got a good, solid blue base coat on them. So I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you guys another layer of painting that I'm going to put on this guy to make him pop. And, well, like I said, I normally like to approach these things by doing the larger areas first and then work my way to the more detailed areas. You can do whatever works for you. This is just the way I approach it. But there we are. There's our basic blue dry brushed creature. So far he looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do his underbelly and we'll come back. Alright guys, I'll see you in a minute.